Okay, we had a little technical blunder there. Sorry, I was connecting my headphones and then the audio cut out for you guys, so sorry about that. So yeah, right now I'm just getting the last minute thing set up, making sure everything's all good to go. Just making sure everything is clear. So give me one quick second, guys. Thank you so much. Alrighty, we are all good to go. So give me one quick second. Now, where's my pretty little face? Where is it? Oh, there I am. Alrighty, so I'm gonna be doing the third case back to where I left off, here in the wonderful office of Beric Van Zieks. And as you can tell by the title, is he your vampire boyfriend or is he a blood-sucking enemy? You never know about this man. He is a very interesting character, I will say that about him. And so, last we left off, we found out that Beric had connections with Albert, who was his friend back in university. And there's still that one mysterious man who is his apprentice. What is the connection to us? Because we actually find that he's actually very familiar to us. Which I already know who that is, but if anyone's new to it, I won't tell you. So, let's continue where we left off. So the last time oh, there he is. Oh god, hey Beric, how you doing? Alright, so, last we left off, we had to go talk to, what was his face? Albert. I just said his name too, what am I talking about? Okay, so we gotta go back to the prison, and we have to talk to him about his old friend back in the day. Alrighty, so, Beric, tell us, what do you know about Mr. Beric Van Zieks? What is he into? Is he really into Japanese men as he is so obviously attracted to me? I don't know. You tell me. I understand Lord Van Zieks is a friend of yours from your university days?
Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science.
What was he like back then?
A good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, an all-around nice fellow, really.
Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor, Beric Van Zieks. What was he like when he was at university?
Talk about a leading question, Runo. As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the Van Zieks family, with all its great aristocratic origins.
Now, darling, he is.
I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood.
Little darling.
It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learnt what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less.
Yes, that's right.
I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation.
Really? What sort of event?
I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already.
Oh, yes, of course. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zeeks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying? You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct?
As correct as 2 squared is 4. I swear it. Yes, it's true that the man perished in a machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this. But still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life, not as in a zillion years. I'm a man of science. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that all my life.
I'm afraid I don't know much about science or your theories, but I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please.
When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything.
Thank you for that, Professor.
And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court.
All right, Vuno, it's time. Time to visit the Great Exhibition.
Sorry?
Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. My God. How was a 10-year-old so No. Come to think of it, young kids can be intimidating if they are feisty enough. Also, I just like how she calls him Professor Bunny Brain. That's here. Ugh, the showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I felt myself swooning 3 times.
There are lots of people, aren't there? I've almost been trodden on 3 times too.
Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. We finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are, underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. Ugh. What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. It sounds like an argument.
Right, I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you. I'll arrest you in a minute.
Oh yeah, go on then, Spectre. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence and you know it.
Oh boy. These two are very interesting voices. Like Gregson, I can never have a solid single voice for him. I always bounce between ones and I can never like select one. And Gina, I play her like freaking Eliza Doolittle, and it is so bad, and I'm sorry for anyone who this offends. Wait, I know those voices.
You've got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady, but a night in the cells will teach you some manners.
Just try, I dare ya, if you want a bag of chips rammed down your throat. Yoo-hoo! Gregsy, what are you doing up there?
Hmm? Oh!
It's you. Here, you're here. Here you are. Give it. Your ladyship. How are you, your ladyship? I do hope you're well, your ladyship.
Does that make her 3 times a lady?
I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue.
Unbelievable. I'll go and have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you.
Tobias Grayson, an inspector at Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely. Or there should be.
Watch it, sunshine.
Sorry?
What gives that? Don't tell me you're on this case.
Yes, I'm acting for the defense.
So we're here to investigate.
Dear me, that's the situation, is it?
Is it really that troubling?
A measly 5 bob. Is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't ya? You could stand to carry a bit more copper around your pockets, Mr. Naruto.
Hey, that's my last bit of spending money, that is.
You can have it back, but I'll have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob.
This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket or a diver, born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was defending in court.
What's your problem, Odo? Diver? Pickpocket? What's with all the name calling? You want a bag of chips rammed down your throat and all, do ya?
I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Grayson about it, weren't you? I assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here at the showground.
That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Odo. Obvious time's a long time. People could change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective. So you'll have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now.
Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely.
The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth, anyway, investigating is off the cards for all of us.
What's that supposed to mean?
Right. Well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here, alright?
Right, sir.
This raises a lot of questions. Oh god. I'm almost out of breath right now trying to deal with all this. Oh boy. These are a mouthful with being a single streamer trying to do all these voices. If I had like a couple people, this wouldn't be too hard. Okay. Let's examine the grounds real quick. The Crystal Tower. It's certainly an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is, being so tall with all the gates. Glass. I can't imagine a building like this ever being created in Japan.
There are lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum. But I heard you'd have to queue for 3 hours just to get through those doors.
Well, at the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment may well be the biggest draw.
And thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut.
Suddenly, it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Tower.
Apparently, everyone's taking to the skies now to look down on the disaster area from above instead. But there's a 3-hour queue to go up in a balloon now.
Londoners must be very patient people. Ironic coming from a Japanese person if you kind of think about it. Let's see. I've been meaning to ask you for a while now, but what are those funny round blobs floating in the sky?
Oh, they're the flying balloons I've been talking about. I want to go up in one so much.
I've read about situations like this in a magazine about strange phenomena. Creatures from outer space coming around flying objects to attack Earth!
What?
I suppose inhabitants of other planets are bound to be interested in the Great Exhibition. This is it, Iris! It's happening!
It's not. Don't worry. I'll explain it to you all later. I'll later over a nice cup of tea, Runo.
Oh my god, I was supposed to say it like Gina. Alright, let's go back down here. Okay, is that square?
Oh, look. What's this? A ripped piece of cloth.
It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. It looks extremely durable.
It's canvas, I think, with some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to be charred as well.
Maybe that means it had something to do with the explosion.
Let's make a note of it while Ginny's yawn.
The piece of green cloth has been entered into the court record. Piece of green cloth. A torn piece of canvas-like material backed with rubber that was found under the experimentation stage at the exhibition grounds. There are scorch marks at the edges. Okay, we'll take a look at this. For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. Almost as if there was a fire here or something.
Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers too.
Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this would have been.
I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Bruno. It was quite racist, Bruno.
That's basically what you wanted to say.
It looks as though somebody dropped something behind the tree just there.
Dropped? Or hid? What is this? Some part of the machine that exploded?
Maybe. It could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps. What's going on here?
Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. The mysterious contraption has been entered into the court record. Mysterious contraption. A very curious device found behind a tree under the experimentation stage at the exhibition grounds. Almost as if it had been hidden there deliberately. Okay, so I think... Okay, that will take us up to here, so I think we'll go take a look at that after that. But first, let's talk to Gina. We haven't had a conversation with her in half a year, so let's do it. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina, in connection with a case that I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive a pickpocket, but then she got embroiled in a murder.
I had a lot of time to think of prison. I realised I couldn't get on like I was. The diver weren't working out. Oh, I'm pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done.
So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective?
You got it. Good, isn't it? Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of a book, eh?
Talk about a sea change.
And then there's Iris's old man to think about.
Iris's father, you mean?
Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces around the world to pull out all the stops looking for him.
Just a small promise then. Nothing serious.
Oh, Ginny, you're so sweet. So anyway, that's how I came in at. I had a go at the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is, I don't read so well, do I?
Just a small problem. Nothing serious.
And that's when Early approached Gregsy and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Jeannie, and made her a sort of apprentice.
That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson. And brave.
Well, you know Early. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants.
The great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words.
So, the long and short of it is, if you've got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade.
Right then. Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there?
Oh, what for now? What?
Well, 6 months ago now, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial in which she was found not guilty. And yet, here she is still.
Come on, you're not still on about that, are you? The Legend of the Reaper or whatever it's called. God, you don't have to worry, Reno.
If I didn't have to worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left.
It's like I told you before, isn't it? The Reaper's kind of like him upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. That I ain't really done nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong might be stretching a point.
What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he?
Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought.
Exactly. So I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. God, it was out of this world, it was. The brainy bloke put a bunch of levers on his machine and suddenly it started billowing smoke. Then it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment here yet.
Sorry?
You mean you saw it, Ginny? With your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't he? Of keeping everything run smooth, I mean.
The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's going to take some getting used to.
So all I have to say is that I'm on duty, and I can do whatever I want to. Get this, I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. No, you're so lucky, Ginny. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too. Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in his place already, right, Iris? You'd have no trouble at all. Then it's settled. When do I start?
No. You can't join Scotland Yard, Iris. Why does it sound like a parent? Like a very concerned parent, like, no, you don't eat that off the ground. Don't go with your friends. It might be dangerous. It's like, no, you can't join Scotland Yard, Iris.
We'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success. In a way.
It was? How can it have been? Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success.
Like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke in that whooping great bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there.
What? In the tower?
You can see for yourself, can't you? Up there above the scaffold. Oh, were all the glasses broken, you mean? Yeah, the cage what the victim got to start with. Really did get beamed through the air or whatever and landed all the way over there. So you say, it did kind of work, didn't it?
What? I don't believe it.
I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. I will tell you what, you can have this. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up to the yard.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go on. I got 3 bob off you before, so fair's fair.
Yes, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? A sketch of the experiment has been entered into the court record. Experiment sketch. A diagram showing the relative positions of the Crystal Tower and Professor Harebrain's machine that exploded. Something Inspector Gregson said before it seemed a little strange.
What's what, anyway? Investigating's off the cards for all of us. Yes, naughty old Gracie ran off after that without explaining himself. Alright, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant.
In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations?
Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither.
Why?
What did the boss call him again? The forensic investigation team, I think? Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit?
So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate. Yes, I've never heard something like that before.
I thought I could have a gander on the quiet though, but the boss got me at it. You probably heard him giving me an earful about it before from down here, didn't you? It's not bloody fair.
I think you were giving him as much of an earful back as I remember it.
Yeah, well sometimes I think it's all them chips that make him so stubborn. You say something to him, Odo? You say something to him, Odo. Go on, see if you can get through it.
He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is.
We could try, can't we, Bruno? Gracie will listen to us.
Yeah, especially to your ladyship. Okay, let's take a look at the new evidence we just got in. Oh wait, actually hold up. Let's show her the armband. I forgot what it does, let me see. This armband is proof, in Japan at least, that I'm a defense lawyer.
And this badge is proof that I'm a detective. So you're all gonna have to start calling me Inspector Lestrade.
In that case, you'll have to start calling me, well, anything but Odo.
I could call you Defender Nora Odo if you like, but it don't really trip off the tongue.
No, it doesn't have a great ring to it, does it? Okay, so now let's quickly look at the court record. It looks like layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. I've never seen anything like it before. But applying Mr. Sholm's methods, you might deduce it was part of a raincoat worn by someone who really didn't want to get wet. And the charm must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning! Or maybe not. Hey, he learns from the best, doesn't he? I like how they didn't even have Iris input. She was just like,
That's very stupid, Bruno.
there's some sort of lever here. What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. I think it's probably used for the same thing too. The details of the crossbow have been updated in the court record. Crossbow, a weapon found hidden behind a tree under the experimentation stage at the exhibition grounds. It turns out that it's a folding crossbow. It looks like you wind this around in order to draw the bowstring back and create tension. You must be able to fire arrows with a huge amount of force using this device then. In fact, I would imagine it's far more accurate and powerful than a Japanese longbow. I really had no idea what I was picking up when I spotted this at the exhibition grounds. Are we not going to get Iris's input? I forgot. This groove here must be where the arrows are loaded, I suppose. So I was right. It's a sort of bow with an automatic firing mechanism. This would be perfect for someone like me who catches his ear with the bowstring 2 times out of 3. In fact, if I had had one of these, maybe I could have been Kazuma in Kyoto archery training. Ah, Kazuma-sama, we miss you so much. Especially Ryunosuke, your boyfriend misses you. Anything else I missed? No, I think so. Okay. And so, we have balloons here and there. So it went there and went down there. Okay, basically. Okay. Now, let's get moving up there. These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted. So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up.
Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion, and I've seen my fair share.
You've seen things like this before, you mean?
Of course, Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry.
I was about to go with like, what if she can imitate Sholmes? I was like,
in fact, in his own words,
explosions are the very essence of chemistry. And then Naruhodo would be like, where did I hear that? Where is he? Ah, that might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs.
One time, he made something that exploded with such force it took the roof off the building. I wish you'd been there to see it, Runo.
It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof.
Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate. Come on, let's be Charlie's Angels.
What's Charlie's Angels?
Oh, it's a movie I'm coming up with, Runo.
What's a movie? Oh look, Inspector Gregson is over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machine carefully.
Really? He just looks confused to me.
It ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it?
Magnificently and mercilessly.
So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air.
Yes, beamed. Not blasted. That's the point.
Yes, that part's crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris?
Oh, Runo, I'm just a child. How should I know?
A genius child prodigy is what you are, Iris. Don't sell yourself any lower than that. A child when it suits you, I mean.
From what I can tell, I think if you were to pull...
Stop! Don't touch that!
That was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew over just now, Gracie.
Please, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here. Okay, my point. I can't come up with a single voice for this man.
So sorry. You can have some of my latest special blends to make up for it.
Ah, wonderful. This stuff really is wonderful. It's just like old times, this is. We're representing Professor Harebrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene.
Listen, Sunshine. Even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. If the lost a special dispensation for scientific equipment act to blame, it's driven me potty.
Oh yes, that special dispensation. The professor mentioned that too.
More red tape's all we need. I don't know if the government thinks it's playing it at times.
But we're allowed to just look, aren't we?
Huh?
Surely that's alright, isn't it, Gracie?
Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. But please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you?
Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Bruno?
She really knows how to get what she wants. Okay. First, let's talk to him. Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body and then beam him across to the Crystal Tower is an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public.
True. It's by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition line.
To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present.
The government's doing everything it can to promote new science technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than this odd spot of public safety infringements. They can be the first to develop some new technology and makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see.
Yes, I suppose that's true, in a way.
So the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on scientists' rights at the moment.
What sort of rights?
They're making it so that any theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were. Right through the developing it into a practical idea and even going into production. Which is the infuriating response as coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. Because the new highfalutin special dispensation for scientific equipment act forbids it.
Ah, I see now.
The only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the yard. The Forensic Investigation Team, it's called. We've been relegated to keeping going.
The Forensic Investigation Team.
Any old fool can see that this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it.
Poor Gracie. He's very het up, isn't he?
I don't know, Iris. For me, Gregson, he's a lot. He's obviously, I don't want to say that word, he's very much a shrimp for Iris, but at the same time, he knows when to be salty. He's kind of like a little bit like Sholmes, I would say. Yeah, he's definitely a character, that's for sure. I'm gonna be right back, just gonna get some water. see, where were we? Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene here?
Are you having me at it, Sunshine? It's a Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act.
Yes, I think Haley mentioned that recently, with a real twinkle in his eye, I remember.
I'm sure he did, Your Ladyship, I'm sure he did. Past, especially for this great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present the ideas inventions to some suits in the civil service. And if it gets rubber stamped, that's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality.
What does that mean, really?
Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of cobblers, if you ask me, put forward by shammers like yourself.
Thanks for that.
Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's all so fun.
Might be fun to you, but remember the Force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine it, eh? I'm science, that's what I say.
Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job.
You'd soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shammers bogus contraptions. Like, you should see it. Some person from, the United States of America called up, they're actually, no, not a man, two men, the Wright brothers, because they claim they actually made a flying machine. I mean, we just got hot air balloons, but what can I say about flying machines? That's impossible. Never gonna take off, even in a million years. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. Sorry? Thanks to another one of our government's bright ideas. If any theory or invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. The scientists get funding? Exactly, and that's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who's to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers, that's who. So you can see why I say it now, can't you? Hang science! Hang it!
Oh, maybe I could see a point.
Just a bit. Okay. This should be good. Yeah, that should be good. Okay. Apparently, Professor Harebrain lives and works in Germany now, conducting his research. That's right. He came back to Britain, especially for the Great Exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants. I think that's... Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time in further education. Turns out he was at university with someone we both know, Lord Van Zeeks.
Ah? What's that? That's news to me.
But if Van Zeeks demands the prosecution, then as the accused, the professor's fate is sealed? Because the Reaper will get him one way or another. Blimey. That man's beyond me. I don't know what's going on in that head of his. Talking to Van Zeeks, this morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that?
Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper is completely fine. Nothing to worry about.
Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still, the Reaper, huh? How long's that business gonna keep up, I wonder? The victim of this case, the investor, Mr. Asman. He was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. LeBerg Van Zeeks is a top-class prosecutor, but I mean, even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't happen. Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zeeks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court. Although the man himself denies that charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we reached is that Laura Van Zeeks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on, I would. But if that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants could have just coincidentally died if nobody killed them.
I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper.
Professor Harebrain mentioned something else. He said that at university, Laura Van Zeeks was a totally different person, easygoing and kind.
Yeah, what?
He said that it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what it was?
No clue.
Really?
Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh?
If you say so. Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Harebrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I say. We should have a good look around the machine while we can.
Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get stuck up myself, you hear?
I won't touch a thing, I promise. So please, spare a thought for your digestion. Anyway, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor claims?
He asks, looking totally incredulous.
Give it a rest, sunshine.
If we were allowed to examine all this blatant scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we?
Because of the annoying rules, you mean?
Exactly! The annoying, obstructive, flaming rules.
Oh. Look at the base of that machine there.
Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh.
It's a screwdriver, I think.
Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle is in the shape of a capital letter A.
It is? Oh, yes, you're right.
What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything I said. Touch anything, I'll make sure I kill you before I get stuck up myself, I said.
Yes, I understand. Sorry. Only just for a teeny weeny bit.
But Gracie, I'm very curious about this screwdriver. Really very, very curious.
Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it. Let you have it.
But Runo found it first.
I assure you, I'll investigate it thoroughly.
He's gone off with it.
That was very mean, I'm afraid. Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy, embarrassing mistake in next month's installment tomorrow.
Poor Gracie.
What is that gigantic thing over there?
It looks like an enormous water wheel. Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside those little cabins you see.
Why?
Well, they rotate nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery.
Wait, it's turning? But it looks completely still.
Yes, that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about half an hour.
If you were mad enough to go in one, it would be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think?
I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Bruno.
Yeah, you see a lot of those kind of machines. You see a lot of those rides at parks nowadays. There are all sorts of strange buildings here at the great exhibition grounds, aren't there? I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time.
Oh, in your country, Bruno? I do wish I could go and see it. I'd present a particularly steely samurai with a present of one of Early's stories I'd written especially. And see if I couldn't get Early into a jam against some Fatitsu Master ninjas.
You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think.
Oh, well that's dull.
Oh, but I do know a prosecutor with a Chonmage top knot I could introduce you to.
Chonmage? Really? Do you think I could have my picture taken with him? Do you?
Assuming he's recovered from the trim Kazuma gave him a year ago, yes. Well, here's the thing, Runo. He did try to get it back, but then his sprig of hope, faded away. Let's see. The kids keep having a look around. That amazing horn-shaped device is pointing towards the crystal tower. I suppose once people are disassembled by the machine, they're shot out of that thing to wherever they're going.
I don't think it was supposed to be... I'm sorry, Reno. I'm tripping up at myself. I don't think it was supposed to shoot anything, Reno. It was set up to beam people to the crystal tower when reconstructed in the original form.
I can imagine, like, if Iris knew this was a sham, she was like, what was it, beam? Like,
it was set up to beam people to the crystal tower where they would be constructed in their original form.
Well, I don't like the look of it. If it was as amazing as it looks, the accident wouldn't have happened in the first place, of course.
I suppose that's true, yes.
Nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? Nope. You can't always get... So those are people carrying balloons, dangling silently in the skies over London. I always thought the day would come when humans would discover how to fly, but I never imagined it would involve them being suspended from colorful, floating Tamari handballs.
I'm sure it must feel amazing being up there among the clouds. Let's take a ride together, Reno, please.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I would like to try it. But without a cast iron guarantee that the thing won't plummet to the ground, I'm too scared. That is me so hard. Every time I see people like, oh, let's go on a hot air balloon ride, or like you see those people on dates and they're looking down, I'm like, yeah, I would never ever do that. I would be crapping myself just looking down.
Oh well, in that case, I should tell you what Hurley said. It's physically impossible for a flying balloon to plummet to the ground, as long as it doesn't explode.
Again, thinking back to what I was saying about what if she just like has Herlock's voice out of nowhere.
Like Hurley said,
it's physically impossible for a flying balloon to plummet to the ground, as long as it doesn't explode. Yes, call me crazy, but I think that exploding part might play on my mind a little. Anything else I missed when I'm up here? No. Okay, we're good to go. Let's go back down. Here we go. Anything? Let me show them anything. This is the symbol of a defense lawyer where I come from, Inspector. Well, there's a bass master here in London. You might as well chuck it and dip it in the deep fat fryer. No one's ever said that to me before. Mr. Sholmes suggested I feed it to a dog, though. If you fry it first, you can feed it to me. Does he think it's made of a potato? I mean, didn't he also mention that he ate like a boot or something? I don't know. I feel like there's something there. Can I get something? Inspector, have you read this paper? Yeah, 2 unwelcome blasts back to back. This one at the exhibition and the Reaper getting attacked. I know, it's a terrible news to wake up to, wasn't it? I tried to pretend I hadn't read it and turned over for another 40 winks. Thanks to that, I was late up and got roasted from the supper. From the super. I might say supper. Some mornings are like that, aren't they? Let's see. Can I show him this stuff? As a detective, what do you make of this? Especially speaking, 9 times out of 10, I find clues turn out to be red herrings. So there's every chance that's totally irrelevant. That's actually a fairly persuasive argument. Okay, so I can't show him that. Okay. I think we're good to go. Let's go back down. Oh, let me... Lord Van Zeeks? I think he's ignoring you, Reno. The prosecution and defense should avoid speaking outside of the courtroom as a rule. So if anyone is being rude here, it's almost certainly the man in black that's standing before us.
Oh, I see. Well, thank you for setting the record straight. Did you see that? He spoke to me, Bruno.
So, Lord Van Zeeks, have you managed to visit the Great Exhibition yet?
He's definitely ignoring you.
Right, no niceties either then. Look at that fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles neatly lined up there. I hallowed the bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. The house Dimitrescu and their very delicious wine is correct. Hardly infused with a little bit of blood, but I don't know where that rumor came from. All I know is that you're looking very tasty to me, Mr. Naruto. I'm really playing that he's a vampire, aren't I? And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world.
And then you throw them around in court like they were worthless.
Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide at the mark sometimes. Oh! Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile. So, it's my fault. Silly me, how could I ever have thought otherwise? Lord Van Zeek's desk. Look, it's so stylish.
And that's a marble chess set beside it.
Chess. That's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems.
Oh, really? You'd probably like chess problems in that case.
I'd love to challenge Lord Van Zeek sometime to a bout of shogi problems.
If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that on your own at home.
I like this pose. It's like he's in. I don't know what it is about him. It's like it just looks so stupid. Love him, but it looks so stupid. That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? It's a very majestic outfit and pose, but sadly, whoever painted it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Van Zeek's facial features.
Yes, you're right. You're right. I mean, it's not far off. The artist has exaggerated the subject's handsomeness, I think.
Ah, that reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him.
How vain. That's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it?
That portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious. Oh, then who is it? Like, nope, not today. Not today, Satan.
Oh, look! It's a scale model at the Great Exhibition Showground.
That's amazing. I wonder why it's here.
Perhaps he made it to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person?
Or perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket. Surely it's obvious that I'm using it as an investigating aid. You Nipponies have no business painting others as overly reserved. I really didn't think he'd overhear that. I mean, come on. Look at this place, man. Have a good look around. I'm Naruto. Have a good look at this place. This thing has like, it's probably like an echo chamber half the time. No, I forgot about that. Wah! They were bats!
Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect.
What about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar, just not the flying kind.
He must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper then.
I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary though, either way. Let's see. Okay. What else? Can I look at the... Oh yeah, I can. Look at all those ancient casks lining the wall there.
Casks in the Reaper's chamber? Or are they casquettes?
You don't think all those people who escaped convictions in court are lying inside them dead, do you? I love this. I forgot about this moment where she went from sad to shocked because they thought he was like an actual like murderer. Oh, I forgot about this one. This is my favorite thing they did. It was like, the animators didn't have to, but they really went all the way with it. What ridiculous notions are going through your head, man? This is my collection of fine vintages. Yes, they may have one body in there, but still, it helps with flavor. Oh, yes, of course. Thank you for clearing that up.
Runa and I were just musing to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper.
I wouldn't if you hadn't invited yourself to my office to talk nonsense about me within earshot. Okay, I think that was... we can stop here for now. Now let's go back to the experimentation stage, because I need to go... I think it needs to talk to Gina. Anything else I missed? Let's kind of speed to it. I think we... oh. Anything else I missed? This platform must have been set up for the experiment, I suppose. It's very high up.
About 30 feet above the ground, apparently. That's what the policeman I just spoke to said.
I don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan.
Oh yes, sorry. It's about 9 meters. But soon you'll have been in London a year, Bruno. It's time you get used to our measurements.
Okay, Karen. It's very much like you're in English, speak English. Yes, well, this thing is so tall, the spectators at the front would just have seen a wall and nothing else.
They probably thought they'd secured the best spot to watch it from, only to be disappointed.
There's a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here. I forgot to look up there. I forgot to look there.
That's where the cove ended up after its instant kinesis, or whatever they call it. Derricles.
What they're calling, and yet they're calling the experiment a success.
What's the wooden scaffold there for? The coppers, our lads, set that up after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. Don't know, really.
Didn't you help to erect the scaffold then?
Nah. Look how dirty small my thing. Wandering around with the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff.
Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? That's bad, I forgot to look up there.
Bruno, listen.
What? What is it?
I've been thinking. Hurley might know something might find here.
About what?
About Mr. Reaper.
About what happened to Lord Van Zeeks, you mean? Because it sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated from university. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at this moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he?
Yeah, this is what you need.
What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madame Tussauds. Is this supposed to mean something to me?
You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We could go now if you like.
No, we don't have time for visiting the attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow.
But that's where Hurley is.
What? At this popular London attraction?
Yes.
How is it that you know where he is?
Hurley told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Bruno.
Madame Tussauds. I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here, but then stranger things have happened. And when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. Okay, well, bye, Gina. Let's see here. Let's go say hi to our best friend. And boyfriend number one. Let's see, because I want to say Kazuma was boyfriend number one because we met him first. But I feel like if we ranked it, Sholmes would be boyfriend number one because we have more time with him and he's a lot more fun to be with. 2 would be Kazuma because best friend since in university, and then you have more of a connection with him. And then Barrick, he's just not toxic, he's just complicated, but he's still boyfriend. Yeah, I think that's how we rank it. Sholmes, then Kazuma, then we got Barrick. Yeah, that's how we rank our boyfriends. What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes. But why are all these people so still? Guillotines, ruthless murderers. I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight.
They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Reno? Shocked?
Wax models? Ah! I read about dead bodies in wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn to wax, apparently. It's called okay, I don't know how to say this. Adipocare.
Stop talking about creepy things like that, Reno. You're scaring me. Anyway, Adipocare doesn't form readily, you know.
Ah! What was she saying? Does it form readily, you know? It's only a very specific situation.
What now?
I just remembered something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display.
None of the exhibits in here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas.
They can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them.
Oh. There's no way.
There's no way anybody could make models of people that are this realistic. I don't know about you, but that one on the right looks very realistic to me. And they're all such gruesome scenes. Wait.
What is it?
Oh, no. I must be seeing things. Is this an arm?
It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwork models has fallen over.
You don't think it could be the work of one of the mass murderers in here, do you?
Reno, stop scaring me!
Is it a wax arm or a real one? Let's burn it and see what happens.
Come on, you're always pointing that finger of yours in court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels.
Objection! Roll credits. Well, not roll credits, roll the meme. These models are so well made, I can't tell what's a waxwork and what's a real human.
Or maybe all the exhibits are real people. And when it's closing time and all the visitors have gone home, they suddenly start moving about.
Ugh, just thinking about it makes me wish it was closing time already and was on my way home.
I wish I write a story about it. I think I'll call it Night at the Museum. I don't think it'll work though.
Is this some infamous murder?
Yes, called Jane the Ripper. All her victims were young women.
I knew it! You get to tell by the way she's holding that knife. Sure sign of a murder.
Well, yes.
Ah!
What's the matter, Rune?
I worked it out. I know what she's doing. She's trying to fill that bathtub with blood so she can have a soak in her victim's gore.
Not according to the information about the exhibit on that little board here. It doesn't mention anything about the bathtub.
Really?
Sorry, I don't think it's significant.
I still think it has to be there for a reason. I mean, hey, once you kill your victim, man, sometimes you just need to soak, okay? Don't blame someone for trying to take a bath after killing people, okay? It's a distressor, okay? Some people need to bathe or to have a nice long bubble bath just to relax, okay? Don't go blaming them now. Oops. That's the wrong button. That big heavy curtain is in a very prominent position, isn't it? I have a nasty feeling there's going to be something truly terrifying behind it.
Oh yes, that's the famous Tuspel special exhibit. It depicts one of England's most notorious killers. Do you want to pay the extra fee and have a look?
Pay more money? To be even more terrified? Let me think about that for a moment.
It was only a suggestion.
Okay, time to see this man again. Oh boy, here we go.
Oh, that's a funny place for a little ladder. What is it? Is something wrong?
No, it's just that in Japanese we have a totally different word for a ladder that folds in half like that.
We do in English too, you know. It's a step ladder, or just steps. So be careful of making assumptions about other cultures we know. That's how wars are started.
I didn't realize stepladders were an international point of contention, but the writer makes it an astute point. Oh, that was an achievement. Why is this an achievement? Is this an example of a Western Tsujigiri?
I don't know what that is. I don't speak Japanese, you know. I'm British. You must speak English while you're here.
Oh my god. You know, when an unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test his sword?
I still don't know, no. But actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be hugely popular. Could you model it, do you think, Bruno? Do that Tsujigiri thing you mentioned?
Well, I do have a sword, but I have no intention of testing how sharp it is on a human subject for now, at least. Okay, here we go. Sorry for that sound, that was me closing the thing. Let's see this man in action. It's the great detective Mr. Herlock Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes has his own waxwork statue in here? Really?
Well, he is world famous after all.
It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? It makes my skin crawl to look at it.
I know. But look, Bruno, you can kick this early and it doesn't move a muscle.
You can't go around kicking the exhibits, Iris. Wait. It just moved, I'm sure. And not just a little bit either.
Really? Did it?
And look closely. There are beads of sweat on the face of this waxwork model. Oh boy, here we go. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look. There's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing.
Hold it!
My dear fellow, I take exception to recoiling in such a manner, as if you've seen something truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes? I knew it! Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruto. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kick! Could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me!
But Reno has something he needs to ask you.
Ah, a question.
And I thought you'd probably be getting bored too. So here we are.
Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more being stationary like that, and my great brain, upon which all my success has been built, would have been turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss.
Oh, Hurley, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you?
We could know something, it's true. about Lord Van Zeeks and what happened in the past to change it. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? Well, you're in luck. I'm suddenly quite taken with the idea of investing. Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. And if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it is related to the matter about which you've come to me now. But how could it be? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow. But for now, I must return to my work. What? Back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit? Oh boy. I love this man. Okay. Sorry to be cutting it kind of short, but it is my turn to be cooking, and yeah, I'm getting pretty hungry. So I'm going to be just stopping here for now. I think this would be a good spot too, because my voice is getting pretty tired, especially from yesterday's stream. So we'll be taking a break here for now, right now. And so, yeah, we'll leave it here. We'll come back to Madame Tuspel's. I really love this place, actually, because Madame Tuspel's is one of my favorite characters to voice, especially since I don't really get to voice that many female characters. And as you can see, when you see me with Gina and Iris, I have a lot more fun playing them than most of the males. And with Susato gone, it is kind of hard for me to like really have a break when it comes to the female characters. When I say a break, I mean I don't have that much time to just have a neutral one, kind of like how I do with Naruto with Ryunosuke. Because with him, he's kind of close to my voice, so I can give my voice a break. The problem is when I go do like Gregson and Sholmes and Van Zeeks, they're all bouncing around in my range that it does kind of hurt. I should probably warm up more now that I think about it. But yeah, we'll come back to Madame Tuspel's. I'll probably be back next Tuesday. I am gonna be out of town for the weekend, so yeah, Tuesday maybe around 5-6 o'clock again. I think that'll be a good time for me to be back there. So yeah, thank you guys for coming back in. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next time.